God, this is so awkward. All right, let's talk about it. The thing that literally nobody wants to discuss, but literally everyone has to deal with: bathrooming in the wild. Now, if the idea of digging a hole for every bathroom break makes you hesitate anytime you think about your first backpacking trip or through hike, you are not alone. I felt, not only have I felt the same way in the beginning, I felt the same way before my through hike. I had pooped in the woods hundreds, thousands of times even, but for 6 months, every time for 6 months. But here's the thing, you do get used to it. And the thing is, by the end of the trail, you might even have favorite bathroom spots. Yes, that's a thing. Hey y'all, I'm Jeffrey, and welcome to Trail Boss, a semi-helpful guide to conquering your backpacking fears. In this 9-part series, we are tackling all the biggest fears that keep people from the trail so you can get outside with confidence. I polled my audience of over 250,000 adventurers to see if there were things that were keeping them from backpacking, and if so, what were they? And here they are. And we are on episode 6. Now, one of the top concerns I heard in the survey was bathrooming. It was number 5. Now, let's be real. Nobody dreams of pooping in a hole, but it's just part of the deal. That's just what we have to do. And trust me, yeah, it was way less terrifying than I thought. Like, I wanted to make sure I was ready to make that proclamation. And yeah, it was not it was as bad as I thought in the beginning, but it really quickly becomes weirdly normal. But before we get into the dirty details, don't forget to grab my free ebook, Trail Boss, a semi-helpful guide to conquering your outdoor fears. It is packed with exclusive, unfiltered, but substantially less gross than this video, insights into handling life outdoors and tackling any of those fears that might be keeping you from getting out there. So click the link in the description below, or if you'd rather just let me handle all the logistics while you enjoy a life of adventure, check out my group trips. I host trips all over the world. Some of them are super adventurous. Some of them are super Nordic spa, shopping, and wine-ish. So come with me. But for now, let's talk toilets, or the lack thereof. Now, believe it or not, on a through hike even, there are some toilets on trail, but they are few and far between. And you're just going to have to embrace the great outdoors as your bathroom. On a backpacking trip or a through hike, you have some main options. First of all, you have privies or pit toilets. These are campsites that have usually very minimal rustic toilet facilities. It's called a pit toilet because everything goes into a pit below the toilet. They're notorious for their fragrance, their aroma. I never thought I'd say this, but treasure those pit toilets. Cherish even those pit toilet moments. You're going to grow to really, really enjoy and appreciate them. Just having something to sit on is such a luxury. So toilets, they do exist on trail. Definitely not reliably, but what I call it brown blazing. Brown blazing is what they call it when you determine your path based off like you're trying to hit toilet facilities. So you can brown blaze to a degree, but you're not going to be able to escape having to dig a hole, which brings me to the next option, which is digging a hole. Standard practice, at least 6 to 8 inches deep, 200 feet from water sources, trails, campsites, all that leave no trace stuff that you already know because you're a responsible outdoor person. But that's the next option, is digging a hole. It's also important, especially in desert environments. A lot of times you have to pack it out. It's really important to be cognizant of that. If you are in a place where you need to pack out your poop, you need to pack out your poop. It's for a legitimate reason. It's because it affects in a dramatic or substantial way the flora or fauna in that area. They're called wag bags. You can get them online at REI. You can get them all over the place. But they're little kits that come with everything you need. They come with a double bagging system, so you can put your poop in there so it's not going to escape, along with wet wipes, sanitary, like it's a whole kit. It's called a wag bag. You can get them everywhere. Just make sure you're being responsible and following leave no trace. I got so tired of finding poopy wet wipes that some critter had dug up at a campsite because somebody just shat next to their tent in a hole in the middle of the night. Be responsible. Do you think like, oh, it's fine, I'm in the middle of nowhere, nobody's gonna know? They're gonna know. They're gonna know. They're gonna know. The animals are gonna know. The animals are gonna find it and they're gonna spread it everywhere. So you think you're being cute and like taking a cute little casual poop behind a bush that's 6 feet from the campsite? Well, just know the next night everyone who wanted to camp there like saw your shit covered wet wipes strewn about because a raccoon had a heyday with it that morning. Okay, I'm digressing. Clearly I have some thoughts. Just be responsible. Don't be responsible. I'm actually, now that I think about it, I'm getting pissed. Don't be an asshole. Take care of your shit, literally. This video probably won't be able to monetize it. I'm really getting rowdy, aren't I? Okay. Dig a hole and be responsible with your poop. I really got off topic there. Next. I don't know, emergency improvisation. The thing is sometimes nature calls at really inconvenient moments and you just got to have a plan or an extra pair of shorts. I don't know. The thing is that when you're out there for that long, you really start to appreciate things like a good bathroom spot. It's like a 5-star resort. A log with the perfect height to like sit on. God forbid, it only happened once. I had a log to sit on and a log as a backrest with just the perfect area to hang that ass over to poop. Oh, that's luxury. You really start to appreciate it. Oh, pro tip, find a log. It makes the whole process so much more comfortable. And I was shocked how many fellow hikers on trail didn't know this, and it really changed things for them. So poop on a log. For real. All right, segment 2, poop kit.
Hello. Hey, if you are sitting there thinking, oh, I want to travel more, I want to go on more adventures, come with me. I host trips around the world. We've been hiking in Patagonia. We went looking for the Northern Lights in Iceland, trekking in Nepal, camping in Banff, Canada, in the Canadian Rockies. We do it all, and we have a real good time. Everyone's welcome, and all the details for any current trips, just click that little bubble up in the top corner or go to my website, jjb.life/travel. And we almost always make at least one group cringy TikTok. So come hang out with us. We're a real good time.
All right, so let's talk about all the gear that's going to make trail bathrooming a little bit less of a disaster. I made another video where I go into my poop kit in detail, so feel free to check that out. But let's give a quick overview of my poop kit essentials. A trowel, a shovel. You've got to dig a hole like a responsible hiker. Toilet paper, wet wipes, whatever your cleaning situation is. There's also the wet wipes that are little like dried consolidated pills that you rehydrate and they turn into large wet wipes. There's lots of options, but you're probably going to want some sort of toilet paper or wet wipe situation. Pack it out. Pack it out. Do not bury it. Did I mention that? Do not bury it, because animals are going to dig it up and it's going to be everywhere the next day. It's not cute and it's not sneaky. Pack that shit out. I think we're going to have to change the title of this video. This is becoming a heated tirade about packing out your toilet paper. Pack out your toilet paper. It's gross. It's gross. Pack it out. Okay. Bidets. Bidets are a thing. They make, there's multiple different ones. I use a culo clean. Culo, C-U-L-O, clean, like the Spanish culo, which I think means butt, right? Culo clean. There's other versions too. They're just little plugs that go onto a water bottle and they allow you to spray your business. They're a great, now they do use water. If you're in the desert or somewhere where water is a scarcity, that is one concern, but they prevent you from needing as much toilet paper or wet wipes. They are more sanitary. I don't know if there's any legitimate, probably. I don't know if there's a concern, but I like to have a separate bottle for this. So I carry a really cheap, one of those cheap, just like small, super crunchy, collapsible water bottles. That's what I use. And that's all I use it for. I don't know why it feels gross, but to use the the bottle that I drink out of. I mean, it's not coming into contact with anything. I don't know. It feels cleaner. But anyway, bidet are super a thing, and I can't recommend them enough. I didn't use mine as much on a through hike as I expected, but on a shorter trip, I've loved them before, and I will always have them before. Okay, next up is a Culo cloth. This is spelled the same way, Culo, I think unrelated. The companies I think are unrelated. It's a reusable hygiene cloth. It folds like this, and it's most popular with women after they urinate. It's a great way to wipe and not have to deal with all the paper that comes along with that. Most people just put them on the back of their backpack, and that's what it is. It's a Culo cloth. And when you see someone's Culo cloth, you don't grab it and touch it and play with it because you know what it is. Okay, next. I didn't do this. I didn't become privy to this until very late in the game, but I will next time. Not related to pooping, but keeping some sort of water bottle or like a Talenti jar or some sort of vessel in your tent at night to pee. Do you know how many times I held it like until the next morning, which was way too long because I didn't want to go through the rigmarole of getting up in the middle of the night, getting my flashlight off, wandering into the woods to pee. I would just hold it. One time I cowboy camped a lot, so I camped without a tent. I just camped straight on the ground. One night I was desperate and I decided to just like roll over to the side and pee, but I was on a hill and it rolled back down and I had to frantically like get my whole cowboy by sleeping. I just had to like move everything. It was such a disaster. I would highly recommend the pee bottle technique. I will definitely do that next time. And lastly, are the funnels for women. They make these little funnels that allow women to pee standing up. I have unsurprisingly never used one. I've heard mixed results from the people who have used them, but some people really, 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 really like them. So those are all a few things that could be in your poop kit, your bathrooming kit. And just, I haven't like really used them, but a lot of people really like the pill wet wipes. They're little dried pills, and they would like rehydrate maybe 2 or 3 at a time in a Ziploc bag just so that they had them for the next time they needed them. But it's an option. Okay, next up is staying generally clean, just general hygiene, which is impossible. I mean, hiking is dirty, but that doesn't mean that you have to be super dirty all the time. Staying clean does have benefits aside from the social benefits. It can help prevent infections, rashes, and just can generally make you more comfortable. The things that I used, I kept a German chamois cloth. Do I have any around? It's everywhere. I have it everywhere. Yeah, here's tons of it. 1 second. So this is it. When I bought it, it was labeled as German chamois cloth. I don't know. It's a cloth, and it's super, super absorbent. I think it's what you use to like wax cars and stuff. But I buy big sheets of it, and then I cut it up. This I would cut up into 4 little rags, and they're amazing on trail for cleaning up at night. They absorb a lot of water, and then as soon as you don't want the water in it anymore, it wrings out. They dry really quickly. They wash really well, and it was just a really great way for me to wipe up at the end of every day. Also, biodegradable soap, something like Dr. Bronner's or something like that. You should never use it directly in water sources, and I don't know what the recommended safe distance is, but don't use it in water. If you're going to use it, get water, go away, and do it on the ground so that the ground is dealing with that soap. It is biodegradable, but it still needs to degrade. So even if you're using safe biodegradable soap, you still should not use it in water sources. You should not take a bath in a stream. That's not what we do. But the real MVP of hygiene on trail is hand sanitizer. I'm not the biggest fan of hand sanitizer in regular life. I want to be safe, but I also recognize the dangers of using antibacterials too much. So I'm generally conscious of how and when I'm using those things, but the trail is not a place for that. The trail is a dirty place where, despite your very best efforts, you're going to be coming into contact with fecal matter that's then coming coming into contact with things that you're eating and that you're drinking, and it's just a different ball game. So despite what hippy dippy conveniences I might enjoy in my regular life, the trail is not a place to chance it. The trail is a germy, dirty place where you can get legitimately sick and legitimately derail your trail. So hand sanitizer, wet wipes. I prefer the chamois for cleaning down at night. I feel like it just takes too many wet wipes. They're not robust enough and they're not reusable. And I do carry wet wipes. I use wet wipes for my bathrooming. But for cleaning up at night, I don't use wet wipes. I prefer to use something reusable, like the chamois. But you do you. And then the last thing on the list is the culo cloth, which I already mentioned. One thing we should talk about is leave no trace. Leave no trace. If you're not familiar, it's the general rules for enjoying nature without negatively impacting it. And there's a lot to it, but if we distill it down, pack out all of your toilet paper and wet wipes. Did I mention that you should pack out your wet wipes and toilet paper? Because you should. Don't wash anything yourself or anything in water sources. Use a bottle, carry the water away, and wash yourself, because everything you wash off of yourself is going into the water and people are drinking it, like down the stream. So that's why. Next, bury waste properly. Don't dig a 2-inch hole and be like, oh, it's probably good. I made a mound of dirt over my poop. No, make a proper hole. Dig it the proper depth and bury your waste properly. And do it 200 feet at least away from water. What else? Oh, well, I already said it. But if you're using soap, make sure it's biodegradable and make sure you're not using it in streams or lakes. Got it? Okay, real quickly, I mentioned this in my last video about navigation, but the thing is, bathrooming is actually one of the most common reasons that hikers get lost. The most common reason is hikers leaving the trail and then not being able to find the trail. And what's the most common reason hikers are leaving the trail? To go to the bathroom. So if you want to avoid a pants down panic, follow these tips. I shared more in depth in the last video, so if you haven't seen that yet, go back and watch that for more in-depth info. But at a top level, always look back as you walk away from the trail. That way you can recognize what the trail looks like from the other direction, because in the woods it can be very, very different than how it looked as you left. Next, leave something bright or notable like your pack or trekking poles or something at the trail where you left so that you can see them to find the trail as you're going back. Next, use a GPS device or an app like Far Out for a long distance hike. All trails, there's lots of really great navigation apps. Make sure you have them downloaded and make sure you have the maps downloaded in advance. Make sure you've downloaded the data beforehand, because often in these places you don't have the reception to be able to download it in the moment. And if you do get lost while pooping or while doing anything, don't panic. But there's more on that in the Getting Lost navigation episode. So feel free to head back and give that a watch. All right, y'all, so there you have it. Bathrooming on trail is weird at first, but you do get used to it. And with the right gear and techniques, it's not that big of a deal. And, let's also just normalize something real quick. Almost everyone poops their pants at least once on a thru hike. It's basically a rite of passage. I was so lucky for mine to happen on day 2. So when it happens, just know that you're in really good company. And if you are loving this series and you want more tips on conquering your backpacking fears, check out the full Trail Boss playlist. The link is in the description below. And don't forget to download that free ebook that comes with this whole series called Trail Boss, a semi-helpful guide to conquering your outdoor fears. It has all the information we talked about in this video, the other videos, as well as some extra bonus tips and tricks. And most of all, if you just want to hike with me, you don't want to worry about bathroom breaks, well, bathroom breaks are still your responsibility, but check out my group trips. I host trips all over the world. Sometimes they're adventurous, sometimes they're more chill. There's always limited spots available, but there's a few spots left on my Banff trip in September, and if that one fills up, there will be more. And no, they do not come with private restrooms, and I can't bury your toilet paper for you. That's all on you. I don't know why I'm saying that. None of my trips involve pooping in the woods, or at least they haven't yet. Okay, hey, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We're going to see you in the next episode where we're going to talk about one of the biggest fears, bears, snakes, and other critters. All right, until then, happy trails.
Want to watch another video? Click here. Want to learn more about my upcoming trips? Click here. Want to subscribe and like all my videos and turn those bell notifications on?